Are y'all ready? For the Dr. James J.C. Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. It's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah! Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah!
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. As you already know, it's Tuesday. The link is what you think. So therefore, we got the one and only Dr. Michael Mantell here today, and he has brought another absolutely outstanding, sensational guest on, and we're going to learn a whole lot. But the link is what you think. 360 degrees ahead, but we want to get everything started at the same time. So I tell you what, Dr. Mike, I'll get back with you shortly. But Todd, let's get the radio, television, everything locked in at the same time. Let's do it.
Are y'all ready for the show? Are y'all ready for the show? It's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. I hope y'all ready.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And I tell you, we got another absolutely fantastic show. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy today because, we are in sunny California. We got away from that cold weather. Dr. Michael Mantell, it is cold in Texas, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Right now in San Diego, it is 81 degrees. And that is incredible for this month. I like cold weather. I'm an East Coast guy. But We'll take it. We'll take it. But we have a great show today talking about a topic that affects more than 60% of patients seeking health care. And this is going to be eye-opening for many, I'm sure.
It's going to be an eye opener because that's as you already know, it's a major issue out there, especially with healthcare and things that the way that they're going right now. For us, a lot of people might not have healthcare
Well, that's a
and might
whole
not
other
be able to get
story,
the
right?
services that they need. But I tell you, I'm looking forward to this show. Looking forward to this guest. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good, James. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful right now.
James, the headgear. This is a new toy you've got.
You know what, Doc? I tell you that story some other time.
Okay.
Uh,
I just want you to know it's obvious.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
crystal clear.
but I'm excited about the show today, Michelle. Can you do the honors? I mean, first of all, wherever you're watching us at, whether you're watching us on E36 Television, Transfer TV, Apple TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. Or if you're listening to us on the radio, it's a lot of ways that you can get your point across to us, get your message across. So if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. So, Dr. Mike, how your day been so far?
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry.
My day's
I'm not on
great.
mute.
I want to hear about our guest.
Yes, we're going to introduce the guests now.
Okay, and Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the guest? Introduce the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest.
Yes, the title of today's show is, first of all, it's 360-degree health day. And the title is The Overlooked Crisis in Medicine, Needle Pain, Needle Fear, and How We Fix It. And we're having a sit-down conversation with Dr. Manju Dawkins. She's a board-certified dermatologist and the creator and co-founder of Thimble. And she'll tell you more about Thimble. She's going to talk about needle pain and fear, or a public health crisis, and what we aren't talking about. Healthcare has normalized pain, is costing us trust. Introducing Thimble, the first needle care system, and a new standard of care is possible, and we're already building it. So Dr. Manju Dawkins, again, board-certified dermatologist. She received a BA from Columbia University and her MD from the University of Maryland. She completed her dermatology residency and served as chief resident at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in the Bronx, New York. New York, yeah. She later joined the faculty at the Mount Sinai School of Medicine, where she was twice named Teacher of the Year. Dr. Dawkins has practiced dermatology in academic, private, hospital-based, and group practice settings in both New York and Los Angeles. She is also the creator and co-founder of Thimble, the first easy, safe, and comprehensive solution for reducing needle pain and stress. Thimble was awarded the grand prize at the 2023 American Academy of Pain Medicine Innovation Challenge and the 2024 Innovation Award by the Skin of Color Society. Well, we're going to have her tell you more about her. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Manju Dawkins.
I need that every morning. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I am so good. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be here. So thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you on the show today. As you already know, Dr. Michael Mantell always hit home runs with guests. And it's so important, I believe, that 360-degree health, which reaches out to every spectrum of the healthcare industry, to bring insights and bring top doctors around the world like you on to share your expertise and also to help educate our viewers, our listeners, and potential future patients out there for you. So I always start off with the first question, Doc. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you? What makes you click? Why are you so passionate about the things that you're doing?
Yeah, so I grew up on the East Coast also. So I'm from Maryland originally, and I did a lot of my schooling and training in New York, and now I live in sunny California. And yes, about me, I think what it is about me is that I learned kind of later in life is that I'm an empath, which means that I can feel other people's pain, which I think early in my training and kind of even early in my career, I thought was a weakness. But it's also what kind of was the impetus and gave the energy for Thimble. So I am grateful to feel all of it.
That's terrific. Dr. Dawkins, when people ask you what you're trying to change in healthcare, what's the short, powerful answer that you give?
Very simple. Stick with compassion. And what I mean by that is we need to reinsert compassion back into healthcare. That is what heals. It is love that actually does the healing. The medicines, the surgeries, all of those are tools to deliver that healing.
Absolutely. And we had Dr. Apurv Gupta on last week, and his loving organization talks about the very same thing. And, more and more we see compassion and care and faith and spirituality, community coming into healthcare and well-being. And I think we're going in the right direction. So I'm just honored that you're a guest today to talk about your work. What's the moment in your practice when you realize no one is talking about this, but everyone's suffering from this? I'm talking about needle pain and fear being a public health crisis, but an invisible one.
Exactly that. I mean, to be honest, I think all through my training and even early in my career, it didn't really quite strike me, but I had to feel that pain myself. And what I mean by that is when I had my first daughter, when I took her in for her first vaccine appointment, I thought I was ready. And so I offered her up to the pediatrician, but her face when she got stuck told a different story, right? She looked up at me with just bewilderment, betrayal, like, how could you let that happen to me? I trusted you. And yeah, what strikes me about that moment is it was the first moment of broken trust between mother and child, but also the first moment of broken trust between a patient and her physician. And so that's kind of what got the wheels going. But then I started to kind of look around, wanted to hack my own solution for my own family, but I was thinking, what is everybody else doing? And so that was the impetus for Thimble.
You just reminded me when I was a child and I went to the pediatrician. They chased me around the office to give me an injection of penicillin or whatever they were giving me back then.
I was that kid too, the runner.
So 60%, you say, of patients, of adults, but of adults, fear needles. That's staggering. But the system treats it like it's a trivial issue. Why do you think that is?
It's so fascinating. And I think the reason it's just been growing right under us and we haven't been paying attention. And so when you look at the research, the rates of needle fear around 1995 were thought to be around 10%. Then by 2012, it hovered around 24%. And now, 2021, we're measuring 60%. And that's with a global survey. And so the question is why? And one of the reasons is probably the fact that we are all getting a whole lot more injections than we used to. For example, when I was a kid, I got 6 shots before the age of 6. And I thought that was bad. But my own kids have gotten 36 shots each in that same time. Now, this is a great thing, right? We can protect better than ever from disease, but we can't continue to ignore the pain and trauma that those procedures can cause. So yeah, it's an opportunity. I mean, I think it's so fascinating because we never, in medical school, never talked about needle pain, never talked about how we can make injections easier for patients. And I've talked to thousands of nurses and MAs and phlebotomists. No one talks about it. And so it's time to talk about it now.
We don't talk about compassion and caring. Just lately, it's beginning to impact medical education. But COVID revealed that reducing injection anxiety could have saved somewhere about 400,000 lives, and we missed it. So this is incredible. We only have 1 minute left in this segment, but I just wonder your comment about that, how we missed that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was this idea, it was this polarization that happened between anti-vaxxers. And really the question is, we needed to ask the question, why don't you want the vaccine? There are lots of different answers. And for a big chunk of people, 10% it seems, it could have just been addressing the pain of the needle. And so there were many awful things that came of the pandemic, but there were also many blessings. And I think this learning that, hey, this is a reason why people are avoiding care is a really important one.
And the emotional and behavioral consequences. There's JC's up there now, which means we're going to take a break, right, JC? JC, you're muted. You're on mute. Now,
You hear me now? You hear me now?
Yep.
Even with the fancy,
We're going to take a station break, but I tell you what, we're going to come back. We got a lot more conversation, discussion that we're going to have with Dr. Dawkins. And if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. That's any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
A black man's point of view.
Let's go! It's the Cooley Show! It's your life! Dr. JC! Cooley! All right. Are y'all ready for the Dr. JC Cooley Show?
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you, we already started out. Dr. Michael, just like what we're going to talk about later on down. The link is what you think. But the link is already here because just like in medicine, just like we're talking about pain, we're talking about needles, we're talking about fear, we're talking about scared. When it comes to that, many of us are, but I don't believe that there any reason to be, as long as you get an understanding of why these things are needed. And pain, there is certain ways that we minister that. And so we got two of the greatest doctors on earth with us today. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up that phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Dr. Michael Mantell, you got it.
All righty. So, Dr. Dawkins, when we think about the emotional and behavioral consequences of needle fear, we think in terms of avoidance, we think in terms of medical delays, and certainly shame. Shame is a big one. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think one thing that we in healthcare don't realize is that needle fear can be deadly, which sounds dramatic, but it's true, because what we see is that, so we talked about the fact that about 60% of adults experience needle phobia. Well, that same study showed that of those 60%, half of the people are avoiding blood draws, a third are avoiding vaccines, and around a fifth are avoiding medication injections, even for serious illness. So these are huge impacts, right? Sometimes it means complete avoidance, and sometimes it just means delays. But when you're thinking about certain conditions, like, skipping out on your dialysis, that can be a huge problem. Either you end up in the ICU or, potentially worse. And so that's why it's so important that we address this issue. And I'm so glad you brought up the idea of shame, because it's a big one, right? Because this problem has been really under-recognized in healthcare, and because we haven't always had solutions available to present to patients, a lot of the times we just shove this problem under the rug and sometimes even behave like this is somebody else's problem to deal with. Like, there's this kind of mentality of like, hey, you just got to suck it up. And what's the big deal? It's just a quick thing, right? But that's minimizing. That's not giving a person space, and that's really causing shame. And what that shame is, it's really a projection of your own inadequacies when you really think about it. And so, that's one of the things I really want to impact is like, let's just understand human beings, right? It is perfectly human for everyone to not be happy about a sharp metal object coming at you from a stranger, right? Like, it makes perfect sense logically. So instead of kind of, making people feel, it's kind of like the idea of gaslighting, right? Like, instead of gaslighting people, maybe we should just say, hey, I hear you. It is hard. Let me give you something that's going to help.
Many listeners were probably held down with shock as kids, right? How does that shape lifelong medical avoidance?
Yeah, no, it's such a great point, because I think that's success, right? When we hold someone down, when we hold a child down to get that, whatever blood draw over with, or that vaccine over with. But it reminds me of G.I. Joe. You may have won that battle, but you haven't won the war, right? Because what happens when that child grows up and is able to make their own decisions? Do you think they're going to come back? Do you think they've gained trust, in the medical system in that encounter? I don't think so. And so all of the research around this shows that we really should not be restraining patients anymore. That this needs to be health is a team game, first of all, and it should always be the individual driving their own health choices. Even with children, yes, we need to kind of guide them towards what is best for them, but they have ownership over their body always, right? So, so thank you for bringing that up.
When a clinician says to a patient, "You're fine. You're going to be fine. It's going to be over in a second," they're not hearing. I should say, they're not speaking to what the patient is thinking. Let me help you feel safe. Wow, what a difference! Just a change in the wording makes an entire difference, because you're speaking to someone who's saying, "Oh my God, this is going to hurt. This is going to kill me. I can't stand it. This shouldn't hurt. I can't bear it." We need to address those thoughts. So your thoughts about that, just changing the way we speak to a patient, may make a difference.
That is so beautiful. And because I have to say, I have been guilty of that, right? And that's the thing is, I'm not here to shame the healthcare people either, right? Like we are under a very strained system. Everyone is short on time, and we're just trying to get through our day. And so it's no one's fault. The system has kind of put us in this not so great position. But like that itself is such a beautiful, simple tool. So it's just changing words instead of saying like, nope, you're going to be fine. Nope. I'm going to help you feel safe. Wow, that is so powerful. And I am going to use that myself, because I actually have not used those words. And I think that's so beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you have developed an organization, co-founded an organization called Thimble. Now, why the name, and what symbolizes, what's the symbolism, I should say, that's behind this kind of care? Tell us about Thimble.
Yes, I love the name. And I didn't think of it myself. I have to credit Summer Kraskova for that. She's our creative director and has been with us from the very beginning. But first of all, I love the word thimble because it's like this old timey word. I don't know. Most people under the age of 30 probably don't know what a thimble is.
Right.
And I confess, I'm not a sewer really myself, but what a thimble does is, right, I always thought you use it to protect your finger so that when you're getting poked, you don't get hurt. But actually understanding more about what a thimble is actually used for, yes, it is used for that purpose to protect from the pain of the poke, but it's also used to advance the needle. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to empower people to be able to receive all of the healthcare they need to kind of move health forward. So I love it.
JC?
No. I'm just listening in. I'm gonna ask a question in a minute.
So this thimble, it's not an acronym for anything. It's a way to help promote the needle through fear. Walk us through the thimble journey from the first touch point to outcome. What makes this model unique?
Yeah, I think it's about thinking about the entire experience of a person. So there's kind of anxiety that builds up before, there's the pain of the injection, there's the pain that comes after the injection. And then there's what happens in your mind after that, sometimes traumatic experience. And so we wanted to address all parts of that. So it starts with prepare. And actually, maybe I'll just show you what it looks like and how we use it. So this is a lidocaine-based patch that's specifically designed and formulated for needle procedures. And you apply it before the shot to prevent the pain. So when you're ready to apply it, let's say I'm getting an IV in my hand, you just stick it on and you leave it in place for about 30 to 90 minutes. And then when it's time for the procedure, you peel out this center circle portion. And why you do that is because a lot of the times you lose the sight of treated skin when we use kind of prescription numbing creams that are sometimes available. So we wanted to make sure it was clear for the injector, and sometimes that may be yourself, where the treated site was. So that is to treat the pain of the injection itself. But what about the pain after? So you all probably remember like how it feels after a flu shot or your COVID vaccine, your arm feels sore and you can barely use it the next day. And it is important that we treat that. Or for example, after you get a blood draw or you've donated blood, you might have a big bruise on the arm. We've got to treat that, right? Because all of those are teaching the individual that this cannot be good for me. And so when we treat that pain, again, it changes how we view whatever that health intervention was. So for after, we have the Recover patch, which is actually plant-based. So it has turmeric and arnica in it. And I'll just show you the backside. So it's kind of got this orange color because of the turmeric. And you just simply stick it on afterwards, wherever you got your needle procedure done. And you leave it in place for up to 48 hours. And it lessens the bruising, soreness, and ache for that period of time. So instead of taking a bunch of oral medications to alleviate the pain, plant-based patch, 48 hours. But as you have so beautifully pointed out, it's not just physical, this pain, right? It's emotional and psychological too. And that's why we have an app that puts together all the research-backed techniques and tools to alleviate both needle fear and needle pain. So things like breath work, applied muscle tension, progressive muscle relaxation, cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. And we just put them into an easy-to-use tool to guide people through the emotional journey.
Wow. You make it sound so easy. And when we come back, we're going to talk a whole lot more about this. But I want to go through the psychological point where a person is kind of afraid of needles like I was. How you overcome that? So I'll tell you what, I know a lot of you that's watching kind of feel the same way. If you want to be part of this conversation, whichever platform that you're watching us on, just go to the comments that's in the question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Cooley. It's your life.
At Viridian. Looking to advance your education or career while staying true to your Christian faith? At Viridian Christian University, we make higher education affordable, flexible, and accessible wherever you are, cultivating a vibrant learning community where faith and knowledge converge, preparing graduates to fulfill their life's purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, doctorate, or honorary degree, Viridian's 100% online programs can fit your lifestyle. Study on your schedule from your home, office, or anywhere without compromising quality or values. With affordable tuition and programs in Christian leadership, business, and theology, Viridian will equip you to lead with purpose in a changing world. Go to ViridianChristianUniversity.com and see how you can join our global fellowship of faith-driven leaders, online and affordable. To learn more and apply, visit ViridianChristianUniversity.com. Viridian Christian University, a unique and dynamic environment for success, empowering leaders of faith.
I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. Oh, it's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. Wow, they got me doing Barry White again, Dr. Mike. Hey, Todd, man, I tell you what. Hey, Todd, are you one of those types of person that are afraid of needles?
No, I'm not at all. I've donated, I think, about 4 gallons to the San Diego Blood Bank. I got my pin about a year ago.
Oh man, I wish I can say the same, but you know, I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable with it, especially after this conversation that we're having right now. Dr. Dawkins, for a person that is have challenges like I used to do by having to give so much blood and didn't want to see it, them go into the vein or anything, turn my head, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. What would you say to prepare a person to overcome that type of fear? Because I don't think it's painful. I just think just the act of doing it is a challenge to most. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you bring up such a beautiful point, which is that needle aversion is really different for everyone. And so for a lot of people, yeah, it may not be the pain. And for sometimes it is the sight of blood, or for some people, it's the idea of somebody else doing something to them, or the idea of something going into their bodies, right? There's so many aspects of it that can bother people. So I think part of it is like, let's open the lines of communication again and ask, what is it that bothers you? Is it that you just don't want to see it? Because we can do that. Or do you not want me to talk about the blood or whatever it is? Like we can accommodate, we can adjust. And then I think another thing that you brought up that's really important is like you were able to overcome your fear. And that is why fear exists, for us to overcome it. And so, from a business standpoint, people would say, Manju, what are you doing right now? But if people don't have to use our products, well, then we have succeeded. Because a lot of the times you may have a fear at a certain point in your life. Maybe you have a new diagnosis of diabetes, or maybe you just have to start dialysis. And you might need support in that moment. And there is no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. But perhaps you build up an understanding. You've proven to yourself that, wow, you know what? I am safe. I can trust this process. And maybe I don't need this part at this point anymore. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a great thing. But I think what's also important to think about is like, sometimes we think about needle fear as something that you must get over, right? Like you're weak if you have not gotten over it. And that is not the truth. For example, when you go in, for your knee surgery, do you think about like, well, maybe I don't need the anesthesia. I mean, I should be able to do it without the anesthesia, right? We don't think that way, right? And you don't think like, oh, I don't need any of the pain meds afterwards. Like, I don't, right? It's part of the game. It's expected. And that wasn't true, but the anesthesia was only invented in the 1840s. And so I think the way we need to think about it is like, shouldn't pain management be offered to everyone at any point? Is there any shame in utilizing pain management? So I don't know. These are the kind of conversations that I think we can like really think about things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and the biggest challenge I have, and I'm turning back over to Dr. Mantell, is when, I've been in surgery many, many times. I hate when they go through my hand. I hate that.
Yeah.
I try to talk the doctors out of it.
Yeah.
But that still is a challenge for me when they want to put the IV through your hand. Dr. Mike, does that bother you?
I got to leave this discussion right now. I'm sorry, guys. Bye. Well, I want to draw a distinction. First of all, something you said, Dr. Dawkins, needle fear is not a character flaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conditioned emotional response. And because of that, we have to think about how we think about this. It's painful. Mm-hmm. And it is for everybody. Some people make that pain the most intolerable, unbearable experience of their life. Other people say, yeah, it is what it is, and I can deal with it. Mm-hmm. So how does Thimble reduce this fear, this confusion, and the emotional overload that patients bring to their experience? I want to get back to the two products you talked about, and I want to delve into that, but I just want to stick on this for just a moment. What does Thimble do in terms of addressing this mindset shift?
Yeah, no, it's such a good question. And so when we developed the platform, it was all about what research existed and how can we serve what information we knew was out there. And so basically, needle fear is multifactorial, but the pain, meaning the pain of the stick itself, is often the trigger that sets people off and really reminds them of whatever part of the fear they have, whether it's the sight of blood, whether it's, whatever part of it is. And so that's why we knew, and because research also told us that we have to treat the pain of the injection itself. That's the number one thing that can be helpful for most patients. And so that's why we started where we did.
And so let's talk a little bit about the products you talked about. I love the circle, and it makes the person who's giving the injection know this is exactly where it goes, somewhere in that circle. And then the aftercare product. Now, so how do patients connect with Thimble, and how does Thimble work with physicians?
So this is such an important point. And actually, what Dr. Cooley mentioned is important too, right? He said that he asked his surgeon, or his anesthesiologist, can we go to a different site? And that conversation is difficult because really, medicine has been pretty paternalistic for a pretty long time right now, but things are shifting, right? I think the thing we need to remember is in healthcare, we're all on the same team. The healthcare workforce, patients, all on the same team, just trying to get towards health for that individual. And so that conversation is going to be welcomed more and more. And that's, again, part of what I want, Thimble to do. And to your point, this does have to be something that is known to all parties. So we want patients to know that Thimble exists, and it is sold right now on our website, thimblehealth.com. And the reason we did it that way, by the way, it's HSA, FSA eligible. The reason we did it that way is because people need solutions right now. They have procedures that need to be done right now, and we want them to have access ASAP. So that's number one. But if you show up to to your appointment and your nurse or doctor is like, what is that? No, that's not going to be helpful to you. And so that's why we're also trying to get the word out to healthcare people as much as we can. That's why we hold webinars to educate healthcare professionals. And that's why we are trying to get the systems to give these solutions to patients.
Right.
Because ultimately, it's the same way, everybody probably has bandages in their medicine cabinet right now, but you don't bring that bandage with you to your doctor's appointment. And so that's where we see this going. This will be something that's part of the standard of care that is given to you as the patient. Because
So, right now, if I go to Thimble, tell me the address again.
Yep, it's thimblehealth.com.
Thimblehealth.com. Thimblehealth.com.
You got it.
I can order these products, get them, bring them to my physician's office and say, I'm using this from Thimble. And the physician can say yes or no, hopefully yes. If the physician says no, they've lost a lot of ground, credibility and trust with the patient. But eventually, the idea is to get this in the hands of the physician who comes and tells the patient about it first. What do you think surprises clinicians most when they use Thimble?
You know what? Actually, the best part of this, I thought this was really going to be an uphill battle because it really is hard to change. I mean, I'm a physician. I can tell you it's hard to change the way we do things. And there's a lot of fear that we carry also about things that are new. But I have been really surprised that most of our users, they haven't called their doctor to ask if they can use it. They just show up with the patches on and they say they're ready to go. They might show them our website. And then the nurse or the doctor says, fantastic, let's do this. And the biggest, it's not really a surprise, I guess, because I've been on the other side, but all the healthcare people that we've spoken to are just like, thank you, because it makes their jobs easier too. Right? Like we know that patients who are super anxious or patients who are really uncomfortable, it takes a lot longer to do that procedure, right? And so when they're feeling safe, feeling cared for, everything goes faster, everything goes smoother. It makes everyone's experience better. And that to me is the beauty. It's such a win-win-win for everyone.
I believe that I read that Forbes magazine called Thimble a micro innovation with macro impact. Did I get that right?
Yeah, isn't it so? What a beautiful, I just could not be more thankful for that.
Amazing. So what do the next 5 years look like for Thimble and for patients' well-being?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hope by then we really are standard of care by that point. Things have gone a lot faster than I ever expected. Did not think we were going to be in Forbes by this point, but here we are. And I think it's because this is what people want, all of us. Every human being wants this. Patients, caregivers, doctors, nurses, phlebotomists, hospital administrators, right? Like it's not just us who are kind of like in the room. It's beyond that because I think like the whole system has really recognized that compassion is important. And we've kind of used the buzzword compassion a lot. We talk about compassion a lot, but to have tangible evidence of that, maybe it's in patch form. That's, I think, what people are craving. We want something real, something we can hold our hand, something that we can feel that's different. So yeah, I hope we're everywhere by then.
I'm sure you will be because you bring such care, genuine care. Manju, you've been an award winner for a Skin of Color award. Tell us about that and why are folks skin of color have a higher percentage of issue than others? And maybe we can take a break first. I don't know.
I think we want to hold that on the.
Let's come back to that one.
Break, but that's a very, very important question, and I'm totally. I tell you what, you got to be off into this conversation, whichever platform you're watching us on. I tell you, I'm gonna make it easy for you. If you want to be part of this conversation, just pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. My main man Todd, my producer, and San Diego and Dallas will put you through. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
It's your life.
There's much truth in a journey.
Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Are y'all ready? For the Dr. JC Cooley Show. It's
Your life. It's your life. That's what we're talking about today. Things that we're talking a little bit about pain management today, and we got a lot more we're going to talk about that. But first, a couple of things I want to say before we get to the link is what you think. So as you already know, and if you don't, you will know real soon that I and Michelle will be heading back to my kingdom in Africa, where my installment for the founder coronation for me being one of the sub kings and an ambassador to Central Africa and our kingdom called Agona Kasawa Kingdom in Central Africa, and Michelle will be crowned queen. Dr. Michael Mantell, you will get an invitation from the kingdom for that. I know you ain't gonna come. Oh, you might. I don't know.
You never know. You never know.
But we are excited about that, and that's it's amazing how if you have a positive attitude, positive mindset, things will happen. God make things happen. So that will be coming. A lot more information will be coming about that later. But right now, our little segment called "The Link" is what you think, and I believe that the topic that we're talking about today kind of correspond with that. So, Dr. Michael Mantell is yours.
Oh, it does. You know that I'm the author of The Link is What You Think, the book. Also wrote the original Don't Sweat the Small Stuff to help people live better lives and to disturb themselves less. Today, just to be quick about this, I opened it randomly at page 72. What's holding you back? I'll quickly read these 5 tips. The only thing holding you back is your own story of insecurity and fear. Ever find yourself jealous of others? Time to boost your self-confidence story. At those times, it's lacking. Number 3, self-confidence is a story you tell yourself about yourself. Ready to begin telling yourself that story right now? Number 4, they telling you a story about you that's designed to pull you down. Tell yourself a different story. Talk self-confidence. Tell yourself a story about yourself that's designed to pull you up. And number 5, you're a work in progress. You're not a finished product. Begin speaking a victory story about yourself. Stop talking defeat. And soon you'll be wearing the invisible smile of self-confidence. That's the topic. Remember, the real link is what you think. And if any of these points today sparked even one way for you to live better, then mission accomplished. Remember, stay kind and don't sweat the small stuff because your next. Well, that was very important. I wanted to ask Dr. Dawkins.
Well, hold on
Oh,
before
yes,
I turn it back
yes,
over to you. Hey, Dr. Mike, you know I got to do this. I got to do this.
Go ahead.
We got to have Dr. Dawkins back on the show if her schedule permits her to do so. This is so much valuable information that you're sharing with our viewers and our listeners. It would be an absolute honor, Dr. Dawkins, if you could come back on for part 2.
I would be honored to be here again. Thank you.
Please, because we have so many questions. We haven't just started. I do want to be sure I ask you this one. You said that you're a Skin of Color Society Innovation Award winner.
Yeah.
How does needle fear specifically affect skin of color patients?
Yes. So actually, the research shows that there are higher rates of needle fear in people of color. And the question is why? And then I think it goes back to how people's pain is treated by the system. And so there is oodles of research that shows that, for example, in the US, Black and brown pain is not treated the same. Right. So the pain management options that are given to certain patients differ, right? Women's pain is oftentimes minimized. So there are lots of communities of people who aren't necessarily receiving the pain management that they deserve. And so that's, again, one of the reasons why everything we make is available over the counter, because we want to give patients some sense of control back.
Fantastic. That sensitivity, that compassion, that equity that you bring is so essential to medical healthcare institutions. And again, it aligns so well with Dr. Gupta's A Loving Organization. If every medical center somehow adopted Thimble tomorrow, let's hope, what changes would we see first in outcomes and costs in clinician well-being and patients feeling cared for?
Oh, it's all of those things, right? It's on an individual level, patients having more restored trust in the system, in their doctors, in their nurses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's their caregivers feeling better about their loved ones going through the care. It's the healthcare workforce feeling better about their jobs. We know burnout is a huge problem. Like legions of us are leaving practice for this reason. I just have to tell this story. Like we surveyed healthcare professionals to understand why Thimble might be valuable. And I had kind of thought people would say, oh, it'll save me time or it'll keep me a little bit safer, maybe less needle stick injuries. The number one answer was it will improve my ability to provide compassionate care.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing? So what that tells me, right? Because the story, the narrative that's been spun is that, oh, doctors, nurses, they don't care. That, that is not the truth. They went into it for a reason, and they really do want to care for you. The system has not allowed the space for that, but that's okay. The system is recognizing it now. Just like you mentioned at the top of this call, like change is on the way. And we see now that this is better for literally everyone. So it's inevitable. It's all coming.
What do you what's one thing that you wish that every clinician knew right now?
That it's okay to, this is going to sound like it's unrelated, but that it's okay to be your true whole self in the office. You don't have to pretend to be someone else, because the reason you went into this field is because of your love of people and because you want to share that love with people, and you don't need to hold that love back anymore. You don't need to pretend to be what you think a nurse looks like or what you think a doctor should look like. You be your truest, most authentic self, and that is going to help the patient in front of you. I promise.
Okay, this is going to be an offbeat question, and our audience is going to be wondering, Michael, where are you getting this from? What did being a Division I basketball captain teach you about leadership and courage?
Oh man, everything. Actually, part of that was about facing fear. You can't see this, but I'm 5'2", so that's what makes this even more fun. But it's something that's unexpected. People were like, "I don't think you're going to be able to do that." But sometimes you just need someone to doubt you to go try something. And so I don't know. To me, that was just a lesson in like trusting yourself, believing in yourself, working hard, and going for it. And I think I've needed that along the way of building Thimble, because I'm a simple doctor. I didn't know how to build a business or build a product or any of these things, but sometimes those earlier life experiences show us that we can do anything if we put our hearts and minds to it.
The link is what you think. Got
The
it.
link is what you think.
Exactly
I
that.
tell you what, we're out of time right now. Hey, Dr. Dawkins, if it's in your heart and you got the time, please come back on the James
I
Cooley
would
Show.
love it.
It's your life. The link is what you think. 360-degree health. I'd like to thank Dr. Michael Mantell again, always, my brother, for bringing these great, absolutely fantastic guests on. I'd like to thank my producers in San Diego and in Dallas. Toddy, you are the man. I'd like to thank Dr. Mathia Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. But most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then. Uh-oh. Something happened. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you, here we go.